Hello and good morning, everybody. Thank you all for so much for coming and supporting Fargo Youth Initiative. First, I just want to have my members kind of come up here and introduce themselves about Fargo Youth Initiative. I'm Kenzie. I'm a senior from Fargo North, and here are my other members.
Hi, my name is Isabella, and I'm a junior at Fargo North.
Hey guys, my name is Steph Kramer, and I'm a senior at Fargo South.
My name's Coral, and I'm a sophomore at Fargo South.
I'm Callie. I'm a senior at Davies High School.
So as you can see, Fargo Youth Initiative is made up of all of Fargo high schools. So if you're interested in being a part of this, any kid from a Fargo high school can be a part of this and kind of come and join. Yeah, so thank you so much. And then we're also going to have Commissioner Colback come up and say a couple words.
Good morning. Welcome. First of all, whichever school you're from, and I know we have some guests here from Fergus Falls that left very early this morning who joined us today, so thank you for that. Just remember that for those of you who are from Fargo, you're sitting in your city hall. Every Fargoan has a part of this. You're welcome here anytime. This afternoon, you're going to learn more about your government services here in Fargo, so I hope you really engage in that conversation. And I know you are going to have some very important conversations this morning. I commend you for taking on those issues and thinking through those things. You know, when I was your age, I was very active as well. And it was at that time that I decided one day I'm going to run for elected office, and 40 plus years later, here I am. But it's an honor, but I'm going to extend you a challenge today. As you learn more about city government and you learn more about the issues that you're going to be having these tough conversations about, think about what can and how can you commit to better civic engagement as you get older, even starting today. Starting today, how can you learn more about your local governments? How can you have your voices heard? As you turn 18, and some of you are probably 18, how are you going to vote? Show up and vote, know the candidates, know the issues, because I promise you this, it's becoming more and more important that your generation is going to be heard and your voices are going to matter, and it starts with homework and it starts with engagement. And so I hope you take my offer to you seriously, that you really think about what is your commitment going to be to civic engagement, because I mean this sincerely. You can change the world if you get active. So that's my challenge to you. Welcome to your beautiful City Hall, and thank you all for being here.
Okay, so we're gonna kind of move on to what's happening today and what everything will be happening. So in this slide, you guys can kind of see the breakdown, and when you guys got checked in, you should know where you are going. So for lunch, it will be boxed lunch from Herbert's and Gerbert's. If you had any dietary restrictions, we did meet those accommodations, so no worries about that. At the end of the opening session, we will organize ushers to have you come back out to lunch. And at the end of the opening session, we will also have you ushered to where you are going. Note, if you chose mental health and homelessness, in the morning, you will go to mental health session, and then after lunch, you will go to homelessness, and kind of the same thing for educational justice. All right, so moving on. We're gonna have a bingo sheet, so if my members will come up here and help me. For the next 10 minutes or so, we're gonna have bingo, so kind of go around and fill out your bingo sheet, and the first person get a bingo, please say bingo as normal, and then you will get a prize. But yeah, so yeah.
You have to fill the sheet, not just get a bingo.
Yeah, and fill out the whole sheet, please. Hey, you guys aren't supposed to start. Everybody wait to start until everybody gets a pencil and paper, please. I'll tell you when to start. This is shade. This is shade. Yeah. If anybody does not have a pencil or paper, please raise your hand right now. Okay, perfect. So on your mark, get set, go, walk around, find your people, and then yell out bingo when you have the whole sheet done.
Careful, the bottom row through. So just
That's fine.
I'm gonna kind of go out there for like 4 more minutes, and then we're gonna
Yep,
come back.
you're good. You're good.
Awesome.
I did so bad. Mom, bro, you're such a lame-o. The comms.
they're not like related to right now, right?
What? The prizes?
You have to get the whole sheet.
Again, a bingo is the whole sheet. Yeah, blackout. Snaps. Also, we have a bingo. Come up here. Okay, well, it's two of them. They already got a bingo. Oh, yeah. It's full blackout. Sorry. Full blackout. We don't have a bingo then. Full blackout. Yes. I'm sorry. I did really bad at doing that, like announcing that. Full? No, full page. Full page. Yeah. How did I do speaking? Don't
It
lie.
was, we couldn't really hear everything,
Oh, okay.
and it was delayed, so it was like we heard.
Steph said that I did okay though, so that's good.
It'll get better.
Fred just walked up and he's like, aren't you the one that's normally taking the pictures? Because I've been at
Oh,
a
I
couple
should take some
of his
pictures.
events where I've taken pictures for him, and I'm like, how does he remember me?
The full page? Perfect. Okay, we have a bingo, everybody. Let me see. Let me see.
Don't just my hand smell it. Is
I'm
it
all-
fresh?
It's fresh. Give her the prize. All right, thank you everyone for playing. We're gonna have you sit down now. Just hold on to those papers. Yeah. You can sit down. Yep. How far did you get? All right, so now we are going to have our opening speaker, Fred. come and talk.
Yes, I have snacks, just letting you know. I do bribe with the snacks. I'm not ashamed of it. If my phone rings at all, I do apologize. I have about 400 humans that I work with every day, and only 14 of them are here today. So the other 386 are at school somewhere, and they might text me or call me, and sometimes I need to text them back or call them back. But I am yours for most of the rest of the day. How are we feeling on the left side? All right. So left side still needs to wake up a little bit. How are we feeling on the right side? Let's try this again. How are we feeling on the left side? Right side? Left side? Left side, right side? All right. How about my staff members in the back over there? How y'all feeling? All right, did y'all notice the waves? There's like no screaming. They're like, this is too early, Fred. Too early. Thank y'all for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. I just want to say, when I was 16, 17, and 18, if you told me to come somewhere before 10 a.m., I just wouldn't be there. So I just want to give y'all a shout out for being better than me. So one more time for being better than Fred. All right. Just realized I still had these glasses on. Let's see how this works. Hey, you might be like, who is this guy up here with all these colorful pants and shoes and all these things? And what do? I have the lucky opportunity to talk to you all today about some various issues like homelessness, discrimination, and mental health, illness, / whole lot of other things. So I should start out with who I am. So anybody know what it means to get your tubes tied? Yeah, we're doing TMI early this morning. What does it mean to get your tubes tied? You won't produce any more eggs. So my mom, 3 years before I was born, I already gave it up, she had her tubes tied. And back in those days, they literally twisted your fallopian tubes together and tied it into a knot. And so she was told she would never have kids. And so when she went to the doctor and said, hey, doctor, this is my 10th child, I think I'm pregnant, the doctor was like, no way, I'm the one who tied your fallopian tubes. And so a nurse actually got in trouble because she gave my mom a pregnancy test anyways. And guess what? They found me. Right. All right. Don't clap too hard, though. Don't clap too hard. Because that's a part of my story. Growing up, my brothers and sisters would remind me that my mom didn't want me. So they'd be like, 3 years we went without you, Fred. And I was like the runt, the litter, the last of 10 kids. And so you can imagine the bullying that took place. So I always struggle with this idea of being an accident or a miracle, right? If your mom told you that she loves you, but you also have to think like, but you got your tubes tied before you had me. You wrestle with that, right? And also what you'll notice today is when we talk about different studies, different people, they also feel that way. Most of us are happy to be alive, but during the circumstances that we go through, when you hear about homelessness, mental health issues, it's an accident or a miracle mentality, right? We're all happy to be alive. That's a fact. But other people have to struggle through certain things. And so I just want you to keep that in the back of your head. Maya, you got on a Zorba's t-shirt. Sweater. Where's that from? What Zorba's is that? Detroit Lakes. Is that the best one? What's your favorite thing to get from that one? Do y'all see Maya smiling right now? We talked about Zorba. She's like, I was not expecting that this morning. That's my favorite place. Okay, so I'm a North Sider, meaning I am from the north side of Minneapolis. I grew up specifically in Minneapolis on the north side in that little region. And oftentimes people still ask, so where, like Bloomington or like Kennedy or like St. Paul? And I'm like, no, I grew up like in Minneapolis in the inner city. The reason I say that is because it is a culturally vibrant city. We actually have 57% predominantly black neighborhoods, 30% are Hmong. So if you can imagine, I grew up in a disproportionately minoritized neighborhood. So most of my teachers were black or Hmong. Most of my professors or people that I grew up getting mentored by look like me, which is not necessarily the same thing in Fargo. So I always say, like, I had the most privilege of being around so many different cultures where we were eating egg rolls, pho, and fried chicken at lunch. And other people were like, we just had like meatballs and mashed potatoes. And at my school, we were blessed. Like, we didn't have those things. Like, I had hot sauce as like a dressing as a side at my school. Do y'all got hot sauce at your school? Ranch? Grain Cheez-Its? What are those? The sodium-free Cheez-Its? Yeah, I've been to some of y'all schools, so y'all don't have to lie. I know what them vending machines look like, but shout out to Michelle Obama. She the reason that y'all eating healthy right now. Another thing, most of my life, I had the opportunity to do poetry, spoken word. This free verse poetry literally saved my life. And the reason I say that is because I met a lady by the name of Crystal Springs. She was my teacher almost 10 years ago now. Wow. I'm old. And so the reason I share that is because my house in 2011, when I was a Northsider, got hit by a tornado. So my entire house got removed, wiped out. It was one of the first tornadoes that happened in the inner city. A lot of people believe that scientists like evilly created it, but it didn't matter because my house was gone. And so my parents said, you can either move with us to Chicago, Illinois. So if you literally look up statistics of 2011, Chicago, Illinois, there were more people killed in Chicago than there were in the war in Iraq. So do y'all think I moved to Chicago? I moved to the south side of Minneapolis, which was like a whole new landscape, whole new population of people, whole new demographics. It was my first time meeting a Somali brother. It was my first time being introduced to a powwow and going somewhere and learning about people who had been here before almost everybody else had been here. So these culture shocks had happened in real time. And if you can imagine, the classes changed, the teachers changed. We no longer had hot sauce at we no longer had that. We were eating things that people ate on the south side. And I also lived on Chicago on Lake Street, which is what they call mini Mexico. So you had tacos galore. You had whole lots of music. You had whole lots of culture. And my favorite thing was the cowboy boots that curved like that. You ever seen those? I need to put y'all Google out. Just go ahead, Google cowboy boots that curve. All right. I'm not talking like a little point. I'm talking like a full curve, and they dancing with they partner. Okay. So on top of that, when I went to the south side of Minneapolis, I went to Washburn High School. It is known as the Art High School, AKA the Social Justice High School, AKA the school that had 4 principals fired in 3 years. Yeah. 4 principals got fired in 3 years. You know why? Because we were social justice advocates in our school at a young age. So the first principal got fired because she broke her arm, and when she broke her arm, when she went to the hospital, some kids hung a doll on the stairwell, and the doll happened to be black, and the kids happened to not be black. So it made national news, and it was like all over the world. I'm talking about people from CNN, New York Times were talking about Washburn High School hangs black dolls. But some of the stories left out that they were dolls. And so there are people like at our school protesting, like we were like 15, 16. I told you I barely woke up at 10 a.m. So when I got to school and there's people outside my thing protesting, I'm like, what is happening? Like it was just black dolls. I didn't understand the weight of that because I was just so focused on school. Like most of y'all are focused on school, homework, who texting you, Snapchat had just came out, and it was crazy time. But I'm sharing all this with y'all to let you know my story a little bit. And so when I was in Black Box Theater at Washburn High School, this lady named Crystal Spring, everybody put their phone up. Everybody put their phone up. Phone. All right. Some of y'all pulled it out too quick. That means that it was on your lap, so I need you to put that in your pocket. Go ahead, put that in your pocket. Go ahead, put that in your pocket. If you got to text your mom or dad because they worried about you every 2 hours, I respect that. So make sure you text them fast. So when I was in this class, it was Black Box Theater Social Justice. And I was like, I signed up for the class because it was Black Box Theater, which I thought I got to sit in a little black box and I got to chill all day. You know, when you read a class description, but it ain't what it says in the class description. So she took our phones away. And she said, I want to take away your phones and teach you how to write poems. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I'm not trying to Dr. Seuss and Shakespeare in here. That's not what I'm trying to do. And she was like, Fred, I want you to tell your story. I want you to tell people why you are the way that you are. And I thought to myself, like, what is she trying to say about me? But what she was telling me is that every single one of you have a story. You have a lived experience. You have people that you advocate for, even if that is yourself, right? Y'all show up every day, most of y'all brushing y'all teeth, right? Most of y'all stepping into the best pair of what you call your clothing, right? And most of y'all have a great heart in which you protect every single day. So that is advocacy on a small level, right? But on the community level, some of y'all show up in ways that other people could never. right? Y'all are a support system for a friend. You're a shoulder to cry on. You go to Zorbas with the homies. Like, all of these things matter. But sometimes we don't see it because it's a small scale thing. But I'm trying to show y'all that over time, these small scale things become bigger. And so when I was in high school, I had the opportunity to share a story in a spoken word piece at the University of Minnesota. This will give me the opportunity to go do more public speaking events. And so my name, Fred Edwards, started to mean things. And so at this high school, I became an artivist. Raise your hand if you know what an artivist is. It sounds like a dinosaur, I know. Artivist? Okay, so artivist is an activist and an artist mixed together. And so we were doing activism work while doing that through poetry. And so if you ever Google my name, my first TED Talk is a poetry TED Talk. And I'm advocating for discrimination. And I'm saying that I think we should talk about discrimination. So I'm not going to do that spoken word piece today, but you can Google it. And so this leads me to the next part of my story. I am now a happily married husband and father, and I got a beautiful baby girl and a beautiful lady. Hey, how you doing? And I'm also the co-founder of Emoja. So I believe in every single high school that is here except Fergus Falls. Shout out to Fergus Falls in the back. Can we make some noise for Fergus? All right, Fergus, y'all got to make noise too, though. Y'all got to also make the noise with us while we making noise for y'all. Okay, so we are in these high schools doing poetry, creative writing, and we have the opportunity to work with a whole lot of lovely people. And these are my mentors. These are the people who did it. So that lady right there, she's the one who took my phone away. Like, I will never forgive her for taking my phone away, but I will always appreciate her for giving me an opportunity to speak and do poetry. And so you see Gangster and Apostle up there. So my mother is a gangster disciple from Chicago, Illinois. So that is like a well-known gang in Chicago. And my father was an apostle from Chicago, Illinois. So we're talking about two different sides of the spectrum. These two people met, had kids separately before they met. They were married, got divorced, met each other, had another set of kids, and then had an accident kid as well, right? So we talking about a full family dynamic. So when people tell me, like, how is your family dynamic? I look at them and I go, yeah. Because a lot of times it's hard to explain. For some of y'all, it's like, no, I got a brother named Peter, I got a mom named Luke, and I got a sister named Donisha. But for me, it was like, I got 9 brothers and sisters that I got to tell you about. Then I got to tell you about my step parents. Then I got to tell you about my real parents. And that was always a hard and heavy dynamic. But what it taught me was I was very accepting and open to other people's different stories. So when somebody said I live with my grandma, I could understand that. When somebody said I live with my little brother or my big sister, I could understand that. When somebody said I live with my mom and dad, I used to be like, oh my goodness, that's got to be different. Right? Because I didn't know what normal was. And so in my lifetime, normal was having 9 people in one household, 2 parents, and about 4 bedrooms. So you do the math on that. You sharing a room. All right. And then I had Young Life. Anybody got Young Life in Fargo? Is that a thing? He's like, that's a thing. Young Life is in Fargo. I know the guy who runs it. His name is Drew. Y'all should tap in with him. He's a cool dude, and sometimes he has a cool mustache. But Young Life in Minneapolis had about 400 members in it. We would do like hip-hop shows, color painting. We went paintballing. Like, we did all of these things. But this guy was my mentor, and he was the first man in my life to say, I love you, and you can call me at any time of day, and I got you. So one time I tested it out. I called him at 3 a.m. just to see if he was really about that. And he answered. He picked up. He said, what do you need? And I'll never forget that feeling in my body, knowing that I had a support system. I had somebody that I could call. And obviously I wasn't going to call him at 3 a.m. anymore, but I knew that he was there for me. And so on top of that, I also had a guy named Steve Winfrey. Steve Winfrey, unfortunately, passed away from cancer about 2 years ago, but he was my first professor at North Dakota State University. He was a leadership guy. He would do these things called Masters of Success, Masters of Strength, leadership development classes, and he was the one who pushed me to do a TED Talk. And so when I did my first TED Talk, I was like, ain't nobody gonna watch this. Don't nobody wanna see this. That TED Talk ended up hitting 80,000 views over the course of 2 years. It went viral several times. We had Harvard students create animations based off of this TED Talk. And so it was a shocker for me because I was only about 19 years old. And so a few of y'all are away from 19, like 1, 2, 3 years away. And so you never know where your life could take you. Boom. So what is my why? Why am I talking to y'all? Why is this guy up here saying all of these things and trying to be funny? I tell you what my why is. My why is grief and healing. Right? And so living on the north side of Minneapolis, by the time I was 18 years old, I had lost 36 friends shot and killed to gun violence. By the time I was 18 years old, I had 14 friends serving life sentences and 4 of them serving consecutive life sentences, meaning that they murdered more than one person. Why am I telling you this? It's because my neighborhood was a lot different than your neighborhood. But the things that we advocated for is different than the things that you advocate for. But that doesn't make it any less urgent. Suicide is just as important as gun violence. Discrimination is just as important as gun violence, right? The things that you go through in your schools is just as important and just as urgent. We just might not see it in the same way. So I'm not telling you to advocate for gun violence today, because most of y'all are not impacted by that. But you know what you're impacted by at your school. You know the people who are silent. You know the people who don't have a voice. You know the people who are afraid and scared. You know the people who are plagued by anxiety. Should I keep going? Because you all have somebody to advocate for is what I'm telling you. Ecosystems of belonging. There's like a line in there. I don't know why that line is there. City of Fargo, y'all need to work on that line right there, because I can't read my line that says ecosystems of belonging. It's a big word. Can anybody tell me what an ecosystem is? Yeah, let me know. I got some candy. Yeah. They're a community of. She paid attention in biology class. We got some boxes. I might ask Kat to like get one more box ready for me at some point, but not right now. And so an ecosystem, as you said, is microorganisms, bigger organisms, right? There is literally, and not to creep you out, but there's like a bug somewhere living on you that has been there for 10 years, and you will never know because it is so small. What I mean by that is we all live in silo communities. So what is happening in your community, what belonging means in your community is way different than other people. And so when I moved to North Dakota, I'm gonna tell you the story real fast. So I thought that I was going to school in Montana. I thought that South Dakota and North Dakota were the 2 biggest towns in Montana. I thought I was going to see cliffs, mountain lions, jaguars, cliffs. I got here and I saw dogs running away for 3 weeks. I saw flatness. I saw street lights that were like analog. I swear I seen somebody pressing the button for like green, red, and yellow when I first got here. Like Shields Arena was like all cornfields and just Shields Arena. Like this was like 10 years ago. Some of y'all were actually here. So yeah, what I'm saying is it was a culture shock to see people with belt buckles. I remember my first time seeing somebody with their shirt tucked all the way in. All right. And then when I got to NDSU, my brother looked me in the face. He said, "You don't have to stay. Like, we can go back home right now." And I'm like, bro, I barely got into college. Like, I got to take this opportunity seriously, right? And so when I first got to NDSU, I remember there would be times where I would sit in the middle right there and nobody would sit next to me. Like, I remember being in class during test day and people like, "I ain't sitting next to that dude." And then people got word that I was pretty smart, that I was doing pretty well on the test. And then all of a sudden I start having some neighbors and some buddies. But what I'm saying is sometimes that ecosystem of belonging is not there for people. And it's not just me. Sometimes it's people who are plagued by anxiety. Sometimes it's people who have disabilities. Sometimes it's people who are just a little different than you all, right? And sometimes we don't think about those stories because we like, I belong. I've been with my friends since first grade. We've been at TNT doing gymnastics. We was at Carl Bend together. We went to Jefferson together. Like, y'all don't think about those things because y'all have y'all friends. But some people come here and they're new students, and they're like, I don't have this ecosystem of belonging. So my question to you all is, when I first got on this stage, did y'all feel like y'all belonged at least a little bit? Did y'all feel like I was one of those people who are going like, "Hey, how are y'all doing today? I hope that you guys are ready to talk about leadership and equity." How would that have felt? Like, if I had came up here like that, would that have been a little different? I believe that these ecosystems of belonging start with your energy, right? They start with who you are. They vibrate off of you. You are all alike. Natalie, you got your legs crossed and you hands crossed too. What does that tell me about her? That tells me that she's listening, that she cares. Betty, I see you in the back, head nodding, very, very hard, right? You are very letting me know I see you and you're validated, right? These ecosystems of belonging can be very small steps. And I'm gonna keep on talking about very small things because a lot of us wanna say, we want the world to have world climate for everybody. And we wanna stop our carbon footprint by 2027. Which is amazing and important. But if you don't know what a carbon footprint is, it's going to be very hard to do so. So you got to do these small steps, all right? Creative directing. Most people know me for 2 hats. I'm either doing emoji work or I'm doing Fred's dissonance event planning work. These works actually coincide and go together, but Fred's dissonance happened because, do y'all see that car right there? No, yes, maybe. Anybody who can't see very well, you have permission to come up here as close as you can. But that car right there was a Dodge Avenger that was smashed all the way when I was 19 years old, going on a spring break trip to South Padre Island. We got hit by a drunk driver before we even made it to the island. Why am I telling y'all this? Because when I was in a hospital room, my first question was, how do I want to be remembered? Then the second question was, oh, snap, we paid for those hotel rooms and we ain't even going to be able to use them. The third one was, if I had died today, how would people have to remember me? I would have been remembered as the class clown, because I did win that. I didn't win best dress, which is still political and controversial for a lot of us, maybe myself. I would have been somebody who was very excited to see people, always laughing, but nobody knew my struggles except for if you were in my poetry class. I wore a mask to school, like not a literal mask, but a metaphysical mask, meaning most people only saw the happy Fred, the excited Fred, the funny Fred, the nice shoes Fred. Well, maybe not as much today, but that's all they saw was this flashy guy. But they didn't know at home I was struggling to eat. They didn't know at home me and my sister were just trying to make ends meet. They didn't know at home I was working a job at 14 and have been working ever since. Most people didn't know that. And a lot of y'all are dealing with situations that nobody knows about. Literally your best friend who goes to Zorbas with you, she's like, girl, you don't know nothing about my life, but I still love you and we're gonna go to prom together, but we only showcase so much of ourselves. And so as a creative director, my number one goal was to be vulnerable and open. So all of my themes are about healing, being open, being honest. Like, do you know how long it took me to tell somebody that I got hit by a drunk driver, especially living in North Dakota where people are like, oh yeah, I do have 3 DWIs. I feel bad talking to you, Fred. And I'm like, don't feel bad. Just drink less. Like, that's my solution. Like, don't feel bad for me, just drink less. Like, that's all I'm asking. I'm not telling you to stop doing, well, I'm telling all y'all not to do nothing. But I'm telling the adults, like, do less. Because we know how they get on Sundays and stuff. The last one is, I never thought I would make it past the age of 18. Like, when I told y'all I lost 46 of my friends, I'm talking about people that I went to Zorbas with. People that I went to high school, elementary, and middle school with were gone. Like, we would have code reds at school, meaning that somebody was murdered that day and nobody could leave the school or go into school. When I went to Patrick Henry High School and we went to a basketball game, you had to go through a metal detector to get into the basketball game. Like, this is not a joke. What I'm telling y'all is this was my life experience, and I thought this was normal. I thought this was every single state in the United States of America, they had the same situations happening. But that wasn't my reality. Right? In Fargo, y'all have things that are specific to Fargo happening, like your houselessness situation. Anybody go downtown regularly? Anybody? All right. Does everybody have a house that's downtown? When y'all walk around and go downtown, does everybody have a home? Do y'all know that there are benches downtown that have pointy marks on them so then people can't sleep on them? It's called an anti-homelessness initiative sometimes. Do y'all know that in other cities, they have literal spikes on the benches, on the seats? You go on a sidewalk, they have it a little bumpy so then you don't feel comfortable. You know why that is? Because houseless people live there, right? And sometimes when we don't think about what is going on around us, what we create doesn't reflect what's around us. So the Emotion program was a response to say, we want ecosystems of belonging in the school, but we also want students to have an amazing way to express themselves through leadership, through poetry, through writing, right? And so sometimes the things that you come up with are the things that matter most to you. So the Fargo Youth Initiative, they came up with the idea of doing homelessness. They came up with the idea of doing mental health. They came up with the idea of doing discrimination. Why? Because those were things that were important to them. These are things that are impacting their community. And so today, I'm gonna have you do things that are impacting you and your community. So youth advocacy is super important. I will give a piece of candy to anybody who can tell me one of the 3 people in the back that's behind me. You right here, because you raised your hand really fast and yeah. Greta Thunberg. Can I get one of them boxes? What? Do they talk loud?
Oh, the boxes.
No, that's okay. That's all good. No, we here. Nah. I don't think we got another box of candy. But testing, how I get this to work? Testing. All right. Here you go, Penelope. All right, can you tell me who Greta is?
She's a climate activist.
Okay, Greta's a climate. Can y'all make some noise? I just want to say Penelope tried to take 2, so let's not do that. All right, can somebody tell me who any of the other people are? Any of the other people?
Maria Kopeni.
Okay, who is that? Who is that?
She's an African American advocate for clean water.
Clean water. All right. I got 2 pieces of candy for anybody who can tell me who Autumn is. Autumn? Anybody? I got 3.
I don't know her last name, but I know she.
What does she advocate for? Let us know.
Indigenous people.
Indigenous people. Absolutely. What y'all say back there? Y'all still Googling? Y'all got AI. Y'all got all the things. Y'all could have just put them through. Let me not help y'all cheat or nothing, but yeah. I'm gonna need somebody to hold this for me. Right here, my guy with the hat. You ready? All right. Can I get the other box too? We're just gonna put that in the middle just in case I got it. You could throw it. You ready? In the back, y'all. Somebody gonna catch it?
Oh my god.
Why is her?
I'm just saying, if it's any football coaches in it, y'all need to hire them 3 back there. They was all ready to catch it. Okay, so these 3 people behind me not only give me motivation, but they remind me every day that it takes young people to really create initiatives, to push things forward. And so we're actually going to watch videos on all 3 of these people. And while you're watching the video, I want you to think to yourself, what if that was me? Right? How old are you right here? How old are you? 17. What about in the back? All the way in the back. Is that Grace? Yeah, how old are you? 17. What about you taking a photo all the way standing up there? How old are you? 16. All right, we got any 14-year-olds? 14? All right, make some noise. We got a 14-year-old in the crowd. What about our 15-year-olds? 15? All right, make some noise. We got some 15-year-olds in the crowd. All right. 16? Okay, all right, 16. I don't even care if you're 17. We know the rest of y'all are 7. That's the math, right? Like, the math is you got to be, all right, let's just keep going. Shout out to y'all, though, 17s. So I thought the video was just going to automatically play, but I'm going to just move over while y'all watch this video.
We go out and pray for the water because the water is sick and it's contaminated, and we basically just do the water ceremony to pray for it for hopefully one day that that the water's clean. My name is Autumn Pelche. I'm the Chief Water Commissioner for Anishinaabe Nation. I'm 16 years old. I'm from Manitoulin Island, and I'm currently living in Ottawa.
I'm doing this work as we can't just pray anymore. We must do something, and we need to do it now.
Water is a basic human right. Everyone deserves access to clean drinking water, no matter what our race or color is, or how rich or poor we are. When I was 8 years old, I was attending a water ceremony in a First Nations community. I asked my mom to go to the washroom, and all over the walls said, "Don't drink the water, not for consumption, boil water advisory." And we had to use hand sanitizer after using the washroom. And I was very confused as to why it was like that. So I asked my mom, "What does all of this mean? Why can't we drink the water? Why can't we wash our hands?" And then she explained to me what all of it meant, what water advisory was, and that the community that we were in has been on a boil water advisory for over 20 years. I visited a First Nations community, I think, last summer, and it's at Awapiskat First Nation. They're a northern community in Ontario, and I had a chance to speak with the youth there. And honestly, some of the things they had to say were heartbreaking. They were really sad. One of the kids said to me that she feels bad that her grandparents, who are both over 70, have to walk every day 2 kilometers with buckets of water to get their water from a well that everyone in the community has to share. And honestly, that's terrible. Like, I went there, and you wouldn't even think that you're in Canada. They're living it, like I said, they're living in third world conditions, and we're in a first world country. It should not be like this. In 2016, I was at the Assembly of First Nations in Gatineau, Quebec, and I guess you could say I told off the Prime Minister when I was 12 years old, and that's honestly one of my like proudest moments that I constantly look back to, because I felt like I really made an impact when I spoke to him. I was told to not say anything to him, just to give him the gift, but there was something in me that, like, this is my opportunity to say something, so I took the opportunity and I said, I'm very unhappy with the choices you've made and broken promises to my people. And then he said, I understand that. And then I started crying. He said he will protect the water. And so with that, I'm gonna hold him accountable to that as long as he's Prime Minister, because that's a strong promise to make, especially to a person like me. I like to say that's when you know something is wrong, is when a child speaks up. And that's when you have to do something to fix it, because we shouldn't have to be speaking up.
Y'all can give it up. All right, so my people with the boxes, y'all got one job, and it's to pass it to the person who raises their hand. I did change. Yeah, I did, take the jacket off. My question to y'all is, are there water issues in Fargo or in North Dakota? You shaking your head, you know anything? You know something? Wow. Okay, y'all give some snaps. That was Carson? I like you. All right, right over here in the back. Oh, yeah. What's your name? Yeah. Mm. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Y'all get some snaps. All right, in the back. In the back of the back, like all the way in the back, like the last two rows on either side. Y'all can use the box. It will echo your voice. I'm going to call on somebody. Jeremiah, I see you in the back. Go ahead. Let us know about the water. Is there water issues in North Dakota at all? Yeah. There we go. He was like, I don't play football. Jeremiah, tell me a little bit about the water situation in North Dakota.
I don't know.
You don't know? That's right. I got to pick on Jeremiah, y'all. That's one of my favorite students. All right, raise y'all hand if y'all know a little bit about water situations in North Dakota. Do y'all know about the pipelines? Does that affect water? All right, does flooding affect water? All right. Do y'all know about hard water or soft water? Maybe not. I feel like when you become a homeowner, that's like when you get injured. All right. We gonna move on. Okay, so there are three things that I know for sure that impact water in North Dakota. All right. I happen to know somebody who works at a water treatment facility plant. We have amazing water in Fargo. And by amazing, I mean that when I went to travel around the world, I couldn't drink anybody else's tap water. Like, I was sick as a dog trying to drink other people's tap water. And at first I was like, oh man, this ain't fair to me. Like, I can't drink people's tap water. I can't even put icicles in my soda pop. And I'm like, imagine that's the water that you live with every day. Like, this privilege that I had just went zipping past my head, and I no longer cared about their situation because it impacted me and my ability to have ice in my soda pop. And a lot of times, most of us complain about our brother and sister taking too long in the shower, not realizing that we have access to clean water, right? There are certain people on reservations and living right off the reservation who have pipelines being driven through their society in their access to clean water. And then on another level, there are people who live not too far from you in trailer parks that if they don't have access to soft or hard water, they can't take showers. They can't bathe. And then there are some people in your school who literally have no access to water at all. And y'all would never know. All right, next one.
Because we shouldn't have to be long as when picking up.
Yeah.
It's good to see
I
you.
met you in Flint when you were 8 years old.
I can't vote yet, but my generation is going to be impacted by the climate crisis more than any other generation before us. What message do you have for the people who vote without the youth or greater good in mind?
Who is this 15-year-old grilling President Biden at the White House? You might recognize her better from this viral clip from when she was 8 years old. It's Mari Kopeny, aka Little Miss Flint.
You know, Miss Flint.
I vote to you.
I know. That's why I decided to come.
Now at 15, she's had to fight for clean water and the health of her community in Flint, Michigan, for nearly half of her life. And it's still not completely fixed.
But as I said, out in Flint, all those lead pipes, they're out. Not 100%, but we're working diligently to get them all done. No child should have to turn on the water in a fountain in the school and or at home and worry about whether or not they're ingesting lead.
The Flint water crisis started in 2014, after officials switched the city's water supply to the Flint River. The water wasn't treated correctly, and before long, residents of Flint, a majority black city where at least 40% of people live below the poverty line, alerted officials that something wasn't right. By 2015, testing showed the level of lead in the blood of Flint's children had nearly doubled and even tripled in some parts of the city. In 2016, a federal emergency was declared. By then, 12 people had died and more than 80 had gotten sick, while thousands of children had been exposed to lead, which can have long-reaching effects on development and health. Mari hasn't stopped fighting over the years. She's raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for Flint and given out more than 1 million bottles of water. At 13, Mari expanded her fight to include all of America, developing her own water filter to send to the countless communities in America that don't have access to clean water. Now 15, she's pressing Biden on the issue.
There are countless communities in America dealing with toxic drinking water. Government solutions can take several years, if not decades, to implement. What can be done to support short-term, immediate solutions for the millions of Americans dealing with toxic drinking water?
There are certain things that take time to change, and because it's the physical requirement of having to dig things up and put something new down. In the meantime, whatever is needed to assure that the water in your school or your home is clean, if you can't make sure that it is clean by getting the pipe changed immediately, you got to provide the water. You got to provide bottled water.
While Flint's officials have said they've begun replacing the 5% of lead pipes that are remaining, after 8 years, residents are having a hard time trusting the water. There has been little to no accountability for the officials who caused the crisis. 9 officials, including former Governor Rick Snyder, originally faced various charges, such as willful neglect of duty and involuntary manslaughter. In 2022, the Michigan Supreme Court threw out the charges, saying the officials had been improperly indicted. And most recently, 7 officials saw charges fully thrown out. Former Governor Rick Snyder is still going through the court systems. For Mari, her work won't end until everyone has access to safe drinking water.
At 15 years old, I should be focusing on school, cheerleading, and just being a normal kid. Instead, I've spent over half of my life fighting for the most basic human right, access to clean, safe drinking water. That is why I continue to advocate for those who are facing environmental crises.
Okay, so Mari said at 15, I should be worrying about this and not that. I'm curious for you in your life, and take 20 seconds to process and think about it. What is something that you have to worry about that you shouldn't have to worry about right now? At 15, 16, 17. Let's start with you, Juju. Is that your name, Juju? All right, for sure. Juju, everybody say, what's up, Juju? No, I said, everybody say, what's up, Juju? All right, bet. Yeah.
Okay, so I moved to America when I was like 3 years old to live with my grandparents, and I guess I kind of just wonder every day, like, what am I gonna have to do to help my family today? And I should be worrying about this.
Absolutely. Y'all get some snaps. I'm going to the back. Y'all know. Going to the back. Hey, Lee. Where that box at? Where that box at, y'all? I don't got a microphone.
No, I can't have that.
I got Milky Way. You like the chocolate?
No, I know you, girl.
Oh yeah, Milky Way. You should be okay. If not, let's talk after.
Okay.
Tell me, what's something that you're worried about that you probably shouldn't be worried about at this young age of yours?
I feel like, especially in the school system, I do have to worry a lot about like racism and whatnot from like my teachers, the people above me, and all that stuff. And I shouldn't have to worry about that right now. I should be free enough to express myself without worrying about their opinions and whatnot. My word.
Let me know if you can't have this. We'll switch it out. We'll get you something different. What about over here? What about over here? What about over here? No pressure. No pressure. What about over here? What about over here? What are some things that y'all have to worry about?
Being safe at school with all the threats that go around.
Ooh, being safe at school with all the threats that go around. Okay. Colleen?
Is you okay?
No, I have to worry about taking care of kids that aren't, like, I guess, say mine, but, like, worrying about taking care of my brothers every single day. That point where it comes to, like, I am dropping them off, doing everything. I dropped them off to school before I came here, actually. But, yeah.
Absolutely. Milky Way Snickers? Milky Way Snickers? Which one? One more. Can I get one more? Can I get both of y'all? Let's go, Erica.
Maybe that, like, schools and stuff like that have proper access to, like, mental health care, because there's people around everyone that are afraid to reach out because there's, like, a stigma around it and stuff.
Okay.
I think that like the climate and like how it's being treated, maybe.
The climate? Absolutely. One more? Y'all got one more? I got some time. Let's go. People ain't passing these boxes, so I got y'all.
While I'm here living my best life in America, I have to be thinking about my mom back in Haiti. She is in the capital, and she just left the house because it got shot on. So I have to be thinking about that.
Thank you for sharing it. On what it is? On these 3 months.
I don't know if this is a problem for anyone else, but specifically for my family, anytime we get something, whether it's candy or just a juice box, we have to check it before we eat it because my family has had issues with eating something and then there being razor blades or something dangerous in it. And so whenever it's Halloween, especially this time around, we have to be extra careful. So if there's no air in it, we do not eat it. We cannot have it.
Yeah, that's how my mom was. I ain't gonna lie. My mom threw away a lot of good candy. I was sad.
Just like whenever I think about the war in the Middle East, it kind of just like makes me nervous to like wonder like how is this affecting like my family in the Middle East, and like are they safe? Like what is it gonna look like in a year?
Absolutely. See this? Get this. Did I get y'all? Can I get y'all one? Hey, my sister girl standing up right there with the red bandana on. Hey, how you doing? So I may have or may have not have saw you in a video. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about this video that you was in? If that's okay. Sorry to put you on the spot, but I got a good memory and I remember you was in a video. So can you tell us a little bit about this video?
Was the microphone?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, it was a commercial, and basically, like, my role was, like, a sexually assaulted patient. And basically, in the commercial, it's like, if you have ever gotten assaulted or whatever, it's okay to ask for help, and there's people there to help you.
Thank you for sharing it. Yeah, and the video was good, too. It was. You can have one of those. So the reason I talk about that is because everybody in this room is impacted by something. Like the teachers, the principals, the district, they're all impacted by something. And then you as youth are also impacted by something. And oftentimes in our lives, we have no time to worry about the next person. We're worried about what's happening to us. As some of y'all just heard, a lot of us have complex situations that are happening, right? And what I learned in psychology class, I did get a bachelor's in psychology. I learned that stress for one person is just as important as stress for another person, no matter how traumatic the experience is. If the person has never went through certain traumatic experiences, their ability for flight and flight feels the exact same as somebody who is going through those traumatic experiences. And so when you navigate these different things, and we talk about these different ways of advocating today, I just want you to think to yourself, there are people who are going through multitudes of things that are different than me. Don't be smiling, because you know I'll pick on you. Yeah, she knows. I'll pick on you if you're smiling too much. All right, can we get that next video? I'm so sorry. Can we get that next video?
My name is Greta Thunberg, and I want you to panic.
This Swedish teenager is being credited with igniting a climate revolution. First off, let's take a look at her credentials. Greta Thunberg first heard about climate change when she was just 8 years old. Soon, she'd convinced her family to go vegan and to give up flying. She says that gave her hope that she could make a difference. Greta's Friday for Future protests began in August 2018, when she sat outside the Swedish Parliament on her own every Friday. She'd been inspired by the March for Our Lives protests, where American students led an historic march for gun control.
Many of you appear concerned that we are wasting valuable lesson time, but I assure you we will go back to school the moment you start listening to the science.
Friday for Future is now a global movement involving hundreds of thousands of people taking to the streets.
What do we want? Climate action! We want it now!
Greta has laid into some of the world's most powerful people.
You lied to us. You gave us false hope.
And she practices what she preaches.
Greta has traveled a great distance on a train from Sweden.
But she says she's just a normal girl who misses her sister and her dogs. And she didn't start the climate revolution. She arrived at a time when it was looking for a hero. There have been climate activists for decades, but something has changed. Young protesters are getting more and more attention. Here's why. First, social media platforms have become activist recruiting grounds. Greta's generation are known for being more socially aware, so they're already primed to get on board, and it has become much easier to be a young climate activist.
Sea levels are rising, and so are we.
The second reason is their message, and it's a scary one.
You told us that the future was something to look forward to. Most children are not even aware of the fate that awaits us.
Young activists have tapped into people's fear for their own lives, much more attention-grabbing than how bad climate change will be for the planet. And the third reason is their age.
Mother Nature is crying.
It's harder to ignore school children than older, more typical protesters. The image of hundreds of thousands of kids coming together is a positive one, and it makes it much easier for everyday people to get behind them. And their queen, she says she's not a leader, icon, or face of a movement.
I don't want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to the scientists.
But that's what makes Greta Thunberg the perfect figurehead. By leading a movement that is now cool among young people, she's become a person people can aspire to be. She's become the climate poster girl.
Anybody here for the winter last year? Not too bad, right? In comparison to other years? Not too bad? Is that a good or a bad thing, y'all think?
Bad.
Why? Okay. So how many protests y'all have for climate change here in Fargo? Youth protests? What about posts? Anybody make a social media post about climate change? All right, what about videos? Y'all got some TikTok-y friends, Fergus Falls, people on TikTok, talking about climate change, wintertime? How does climate change affect y'all? I'm just super curious. Do y'all, tell me. I'm so sorry, but I couldn't hear you, so I feel like, sports and what else?
Like social interactions outside, like skating on lakes around in Minnesota.
Yeah. Go ahead, take one of those. All right, all right. What about over here? Sada, you got some? You got some for climate? Elijah, you got some? Climate? What about my staff over here? How does climate change affect y'all? I'm super curious. How does it affect y'all? Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, well, I think about the flooding and all that that's occurred in our community in the past. Like, it devastates communities and yet pulls us together. It's this weird thing. But like, my son is 2.5, but we didn't go sledding last year. And I know that's super minor and super selfish, but that's like an indication that there's concerns.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I feel like one of the things I think about in terms of climate change is like the melting of the polar ice caps and the increased sea level as a result of it. And that could be potentially, like, I'm from Texas. And so, like, especially for our coastal regions and our coastal areas, a lot of people that have homes and families and loved ones in those areas, if that was to happen at a substantial rate, then there'll be a lot of people out of housing. And another thing, I guess the last thing, being from Texas, like hurricane season and tornadoes that typically are not as bad. Like, basically Texas is on the Gulf of Mexico, which is already very warm, like, water. And so, like, this past year, I don't know if you heard about, like, the hurricanes that came through Florida, the hurricanes that came through Texas. And it seems like, you know, when I was smaller, like, hurricanes that were that strong were like every other season. But now it seems like every season there are hurricanes to the extent where hundreds and, you know, thousands of people are losing their lives because of these massive, strong storms that are basically fed by very, very warm waters.
Hey, y'all give it up. Y'all want one of these? Y'all want to snack out? Josh, you want one of these?
Save it for the youth.
No, it's okay. It's all right. They got enough candy. I got some more for them. Over here, you ready?
Okay, so, you know, like, with the warmer weather, it could, like, affect, I guess, the weather, make droughts and other stuff like that, which could destroy things such as, like, the crops, which might result in, like, food or other items being just more sparse or, like, more expensive or, like, maybe even both. So it could affect us through that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I got 2 more bars, so just let y'all know.
Hey, Fred, can I add on to that one real quick?
Yeah.
I just crossed my mind. My family farm, and I'm not a farm kid at all. But my dad grew up on a farm, 110 years old, out in Carson, North Dakota. And I have family who still farms out there. And their mental health the last couple of years has been really, really down because their cattle doesn't have like hay to eat. The shortages, the droughts you talked about. Like, it's a world I don't live in because I'm here in Fargo in the city, which is wonderful for me, but I have family really impacted deeply with the climate issues that are occurring out west.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Now, be our last person.
Okay, I've like been always super involved in climate change because my parents are, and I've been at like protests and done articles for Inform and stuff. But I think that the main issue with climate change is it causes like air pollution, loss of food security, and then it does, as he was saying, like it detriments both human health and human mental health, because once you see the like planet getting hurt with these droughts and things, like food security goes down. So, and with food security going down, human health goes down. With more climate change, like mental health problems come up. So it's just like, it's just something that needs to be fixed.
It's like a trickle effect almost, right? Yeah. All right, I was told we got 20 minutes and we can't go over that 20 minutes, so I'm gonna just hurry us through this. The next one, we're gonna skip me. I ain't that important. But this is something that I think is important. Those who are most directly impacted by inequities are the closest to the approaches to address them, which means that you all just talked about different situations that impact you. So it's a fact that can be proven that you are going to be the one closest to solving those issues, right? Because most of the time, our district, our principals, they don't know what y'all know. And when y'all do surveys, y'all don't tell them what y'all know. That's just the truth, right? Like y'all like, I I'm just ready for school to be over with. All right, let me see. Bow. So your voice matters. I'm super curious, which area do you feel most passionate about? So when I say the area, I want you to stand up. Houselessness. You feel passionate about houselessness? What about discrimination? Discrimination? What about mental health and suicide? Mental health and suicide? All right. So this is what I need. I need everybody to sit down. Everybody sit down. If you have glasses or a hat, I want you to go to corner 1. Make it fast, make it quick. I need you to run almost run over there. Glasses or a hat? Glasses or a hat? Glasses or a hat? Let's see. If you have on blue jeans and you are still sitting down, go to corner number 2. Blue jeans only. Blue jeans, strictly blue. I'll be checking. All right, and everybody left over, I want you to go to corner number 3. Hurry up, though. I need y'all to almost run. Make sure somebody has a pencil. Somebody has a pencil. All right, so if you were the last person over there, I want you to come up and grab a sheet. If you were the last person over to your area, come and grab a sheet. You got it? Let's go. I need y'all to run. We only got 20 minutes or less now. Take 2 of these. Here you go. Take 2 of these.
Do I get candy for coming up here?
You do not. Hold on. I need you to grab 2. You 2 ready to go. All right. Now this is what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to split into groups of 10 and make a circle. All right? Groups of 10 and make a circle. Groups of 10. Groups of 10 and make a circle. It could be less than 10, but it has to be more. All right. So in my class in emotion, we say yo, yer, which is like a call and response. So when I say yo or yer, you say yer, and then you stop talking. So yo, yer! Yo, yer! And then that means be quiet. So I'm not gonna lie, we got a little less time than I wanted, but that's okay. Y'all have exactly 10 minutes to pick one case study that is on your sheet. And then I want you as a group to have dialogue and discussion about one of these questions. Don't pick 4 because we don't got enough time for 4, but I want you to pick one question and make sure at least 5 of the 10 people have the opportunity to speak. So if you are like the president, you like to talk a lot, I need you to be quiet right now and make sure everybody got a little time to speak. We're going to play some lo-fi and y'all get going. Get to having those conversations. I went fast. Are we past our time? No, for real. Thank you for being here today.
Yeah.
I like my partner hurricanes, so they start with you. So thank you. 3-minute warning! 3-minute warning! 3-minute warning, y'all. 3-minute warning. Just in case you didn't hear, it's a 3-minute warning. We do got a time crunch. We got a time crunch. Yo, Yurt! Yo, Yurt! Yo, Yurt! All right, all right. All of y'all are probably like, what are the pieces of paper for? I want y'all to write very big your answers on those white pieces of paper. And y'all bring that up here to the front. And then I want y'all to sit in y'all seats because we got some cards coming around, and that's our last thing. So make sure y'all have a spokesperson. Y'all pick one person that's going to come up here and say the case study and read the questions or read the answers to the questions. So pick one person. It could be the guy with the brown shirt on. That might not be a bad idea. Yeah, after y'all pick y'all spokesperson for the group, go ahead, take a seat. Take a squat, you know what I'm saying? Bet. Yeah, after y'all pick a spokesperson, go ahead, take a seat, and have the spokesperson come up here with y'all answers. Have the spokesperson come up here with y'all answers. Ella, A. I just saw your name and I was just like, Rihanna, it just hit me. What? Don't worry about it right now. Huh? The spokesperson to come up here, yes. All right, yo, this is what I need. I need a person with your answers and the case study to come up here. Just one person from each group. And everybody else, sit down on your butts with your card. Thank you. Hey, Samantha. All right. All right. Let me know when y'all ready. I got let's trade. There we go. You ready? All right. Yo, Perfect. All right. So we're gonna start with Samantha, and what we're gonna do is I want you to read your case study very quickly and answer one question that you chose.
Okay. So for my group's case study, we had Andre is a Black neurodivergent student who's known for speaking his mind, though often he's labeled different or difficult by his teachers and peers. Behind his bold front, he faces daily discrimination and misinterpretation of his behaviors, leaving him feeling misunderstood and marginalized. His mother supports him but worries he's too visible and pressures him to keep his head down. Andre wears a mask of indifference to deflect the judgment, feeling torn between standing up for himself and retreating to avoid further scrutiny. And for the question we answered was, how could understanding their situation change how others views them? For my group, we talked about how obviously they didn't specify what specifically makes him neurodivergent, whether that's autism or like ADHD. But we also talked about how people who are neurodivergent, sometimes they have a tendency to it's a little harder for them to be able to read the room or like pick up on social cues. And so because of that, I feel like we should have the people around them who are looking at Andre as different or difficult understand that like he sees the world in a different view than we do. And so because of that, we should be able to try to understand where he's coming from and understand that he has a harder time picking up on social cues, whether that be like him not responding to certain things or him needing to respond to things. But we also feel like Andre we should also think that Andre should take some time to also try to understand, try to learn how to pick up on social cues, because even though it is difficult for even people who aren't neurodivergent to understand what's happening and what's the vibe of the room, I feel like everybody should try to at least have some understanding of what needs to be said and what doesn't need to be said. And also at the same time, other people should understand that some people have a difficult time understanding when they should talk and when they shouldn't talk.
Absolutely. Anybody else have Andre? Anybody else up here have Andre? Can you tell us what question you chose?
We mainly did 3 and then a little bit of 7, but mostly 3. And a lot of it was just helping him with getting him a counselor, maybe some kind of therapy, so he can just learn to almost not mask it, but learn to function a little bit more in a class, in a social setting, because depending on what it is, it could be a lot of different things. It could be ADHD, it could be autism. There's such a spectrum. I'm assuming ADHD and autism because that's just kind of what I've run up around with my little brother. And so if it's both those things, usually sometimes medication helps with stuff like ADHD, but a lot of it is just getting him in a place where it feels comfortable, or almost like a resource room, I believe they're called, where it's just a space where they can kind of have more time to think and stuff, where it's not, they can work more at their own pace.
Absolutely.
And also, said, if I remember it, he feels it's very out there, it's very different, and get him in classes that show that, art class, music class, something like that, just where he can express himself.
Absolutely. Over here. Yeah, all right, yeah. I support that, yeah. All right, can you tell us your case study and what question?
Okay.
You don't got to read the full case study, just summarize it for us. Just summarize it.
So we had case study 1 and 2. So we chose Elena, young lady, dropped out of Fargo North, facing homelessness and unexpected pregnancy, also facing judgment from her community. And the question that we chose are what small actions can be made to make a difference to them. And we could be a shoulder to lean on. Those are, even though we can't help them with resources, we can also help them
facing whatever they're facing, like facing judgment, as be a shoulder to lean on. And it kind of really spoken out, the one that we chose in our group, because almost everybody, I can't speak on behalf of everybody in the group, but almost everybody have somebody in their life that almost went through the same thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else have Elena? Anybody else have? You go first. Tell us the question that you answered, then you go second.
I answered, we did, what challenges might youth face in trying to help someone in this position? And, there's a few things such as young people don't really have experience raising children, believe it or not. So it's not like they're gonna be able to give her a bunch of advice on what to do. It's also that since we're young, we don't have our careers or stuff established. So it's not like we can support her financially if we're giving her baby supplies or something like that.
Absolutely.
So we don't have I guess, just much to give.
Yeah, that's real. That's honest. That's real. You good?
We chose how could we understand their situation and change how others view them. We said we need to understand the whole story and think positive about the person's situation. They don't owe us the story, but we should still try to understand with the little information they have given us. And people can make bad decisions if it's their choice or not. And we just have to learn to forgive them if it was a bad decision on their part.
Absolutely. Summarize your case study. Tell us the question you chose.
So we had case study 5 and 6, and ours was about Maya, who is a TikTok sensation who captivates her audience with fun, vibrant content. And she just seems really happy. Everyone thinks she lives a glamorous life, but deep down, she's really struggling with mental health and thoughts of suicide and all this, but no one really knows about it. And we answered the question, what small actions could make a big difference for them? And a lot of that could be just being there to listen. I mean, what's it over here? They don't owe you the full story, but just trying to understand what they're telling you and what they're going through can be a big help. And also just listening about it, because a lot of the time, even if you can't fix the problem, if you're there to listen about it, that can be half the struggle, because having to hold that in yourself and have no one to talk about can be half the hurt. So if you can just be there to listen to somebody and try to understand what they're telling you, can help a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else have TikTok sensation? Bet. Yeah, tell us about it.
Okay. So we chose the question, how could understanding their situation change how others view them? So we also had Maya for our group. And so we sort of came up with a couple main points. So one of them was opening up. Some folks who have a lot of these external recognitions, in Maya's case, for example, she has a lot of digital recognition, which may not exactly account for things that are going internally. So we thought maybe just opening up to sources that have that validation that are lasting, and as compared to literal just likes on a screen, if that makes sense, that can have a lot more
That's a word. That's beautiful. Wow. So I got these bag of Takis. If somebody says something amazing, I want to give them the bag of Takis. So, Jonas.
Thank you.
Even if you can't eat them, that's yours. That was fire. I don't even think y'all understand how important that is in a digital age to say that. So thank you. All of what y'all said was amazing too, by the way. I just want to say that. But I had one person who could get them Takis. Go ahead, Penelope.
We talked about also Maya, and then we mostly were focused on what small actions could make a difference. And we talked about how releasing and stopping that stigma that people with mental health problems get in schools and education could be such a better thing for individuals, because with this better support and with this better recognition for these people, so many more people are going to be able to reach out no matter who you are, what you do, and they're going to be able to continue to slowly reduce that stigma and then get that help that they need, which, yeah.
Absolutely. So I got one question. Do all of y'all do public speaking typically? Was this nerve-wracking for anybody up here? Who was this nerve-wracking for? Was anybody really scared? All right, give it up, give it up. Absolutely, absolutely. Y'all can clap it up some more. Y'all can clap it up some more. All right. This is what I need y'all to do. Everybody got a card? Everybody got a card? Some type of card? If you don't have a card, say, Catlin, give me a card. I'm just joking. Thank y'all so much. Y'all can actually go back to y'all seats. Did I forget anybody? Did I miss anybody? Yeah, y'all can go back to y'all seats. We got one last thing, y'all. Get a card from Catlin. If you don't have a card, get a card from Catlin. Get a card.
I didn't get talking.
Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah. You already know. You need a card? Actually, I got some cards. Carson, you trying to do me a favor? If somebody don't have a card, bet. How's it going, Natalie? It's been all right? Kat, I got 6 minutes or 1 minute? All right, almost everybody got a card? Yeah, you can put them right here. Okay. Elijah, you stand up for me. Yeah, stand up for me. All right, yo. You can read on the board for me? Say it loud and proud. Whoa. Just Elijah, y'all. I'm so sorry. Just Elijah.
When I is replaced with weak, illness becomes wellness.
Ooh. Okay, somebody who has not spoken at all today, like you haven't said anything, I'm super curious, what does this mean? What does this mean? One person? Can I throw it?
Like, if we can just get people to come together, it can help maybe people not doing well just do better. Like the group setting is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One more person. Appreciate that, Grace. Appreciate that.
It means like it's easier to like heal and do better when you're working in a group than when you're on your own. Because I know like a lot of times when you're on your own, it's really hard to like heal and come back from that. But when you work as a like team and you have that support, it's easier to want to get better and to get better than it is to do it on your own.
Yeah. Okay, so this is our last part of our activity today. My time is up. We're gonna skip my video of myself. I got like a Greta Thunberg video where they like, Fred, what does he do? All these things. We can watch that at the end, maybe, if Kat doesn't scrouse me too much. But we have one last activity. We're gonna skip that too. This is the equity pledge. Equity pledge says, I'm gonna stand on this chair. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. I will make the world better by blank. All right, on your card, I want you to write real big. If you can do graffiti, you can do graffiti. If you could just do it in little small. Y'all don't got pencils? Y'all can't late? It's all good. We got some pencils for y'all though. We gonna have people run around with pencils. Raise your hand if you don't have a pencil. If you don't have a pencil, raise your hand. All right, this is what I want y'all to do for the next 3 minutes. I want y'all to process and think about really big. All right, we're gonna turn these in at the front. I want y'all to be ready. I will make the world better by blank. All right, my question to you all is, after today, you heard about a lot of issues, droughts going on in East North Dakota, floods happening, you heard about mental health, illnesses, unexpected pregnancies, discrimination, all these different things, and we just talked about it collectively as a group. So when we replace the I with the we, even illness becomes wellness. So my question is, how are you, as an individual, gonna make the world better? That's all I want to know. And if we finish fast enough, I'll show y'all my video of myself. It's cool. It's all right. Yes, sign your name on it too. I will make the world better by blank. Mackenzie, you raise your hand. You raise your hand, Mackenzie, raise your hand. All right. Mackenzie is gonna collect cards, and Kat is gonna sit down because she was just passing out all the cards. So what I want y'all to do is keep them. Not right now. You go chill. You can chill right now. You can chill right now. All right. So I will make the world better by blank. I will make the world better by blank. And then once you're done, I want you to whip your phone out because y'all all got social medias and stuff. And I want you to take a picture of your card. Your card, the C-A-R-D. Yes. And what I want you to do is I want you to keep that as your wallpaper for at least one day. Can we do one day? Can we do one day? Jeremiah, I'm not playing. Take a picture of how you will make the world better and make it your screensaver for one day, 24 hours. You can put your boo back on there tomorrow. All right? That's up to you. That's up to you. I don't even know the difference, to be honest. Can you get a new piece of paper? Yeah, you can get a new piece of paper. I got a paper up here. You good? Y'all good? Y'all good? All right, so I will make the world better by playing. I will make the world better by playing. All right, all right, all right. I will make the world better by blank. Hey, I want to thank you all for being here today. I have exactly 2 minutes, and I could possibly show this video in that 2 minutes, but I probably can't because I'm being told no. So my thing is I want you to put your card up. Put your card up. All right, you're not going to be able to hear other people because you're going to be talking. So on a count of 3, I want you to say, I will make the world better by, and whatever that is on the card. Can we do that? Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
I will make the world better by